Travis Wayne Goodsell. I just got through watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s latest episode. They're in their final season. They are making reference to Terminator. And so, yeah, Terminator was about Judgment Day, the end of the world, with machines causing it. This one, in S.H.I.E.L.D., it's aliens causing it. But the reality is that it's humans causing it. And I've gone over the LDS Church history to show you where it began, to show you what's been going on. And I wish I could explain it simply in just a sentence. But if I were to just say we are under attack by Lucifer's followers, you wouldn't understand. You already have your preconceived ideas of what that means. And I've been trying to go over with you, and over 1,000 videos on this page and this channel, and I can't get through to you guys. I'm being held back by YouTube shadow banning me. Although the travel ban did get some attention. ABC4 News Utah also covered it. Utah on travel advisory to New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. So those 3 states have all joined together to say, no, we're not letting Utahns into our states. And that's how it's going to be, guys. Coronavirus is getting worse because we didn't stop it right. We didn't stop it early. We didn't stop it when we were supposed to. When the medical professionals told us to stop it, the leaders of our government, the leader of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who is a medical doctor, did not stop it. And so now we have to deal with the consequences, and Mormons are upset. We don't like these consequences. We want our agency to violate consequences. And so, last night I talked about how ABC4 News Utah didn't have any segments about his Governor Herbert's hour-long talk yesterday at 4 p.m. They've got a few things now. The first, his senior staff test positive for coronavirus. Governor Herbert is not in the higher ranks to get the vaccine, as certain higher officials have the vaccine, as it's plainly obvious. Herbert will go down in flames. He is at high risk. And yes, there have been those miracles who are over 100 years old who survive, but those are the exceptions. We're talking a handful out of hundreds of thousands who are dying. So yeah, Herbert's staff have gone down in flames. And so again, I remind you guys, what have you done so wrong that Herbert wants you dead? Because everything Herbert's doing is not in our best interest. He's doing it to save Utah, to make him look good in front of the world. Oh, see, we're the example of how to control coronavirus. Not anymore. We're now the shame and humiliating embarrassment of the world. As we've gone national now. As states are now banning Utahns from entering into their state because of Herbert's actions. And yet you get mad at me. So the bird to all of you who get mad at me. And so now they don't understand rise in alcohol problems. Could be related to pandemic. Yes, it's related to the pandemic. People are losing hope. And that's what people do. When they drink to drown their sorrows. So yes, that's why a rise in alcohol is going on. That's why a rise in sales of guns have occurred. That's why you've got all these shootings and murders. And then we've got fire warnings as target shooting restrictions are in place for Utah County because of the fire danger. And we have other criminal activities. There was an undercover prostitution sting that was broken up. 6 men were arrested. They all look like returned missionaries. Fine young men in the community. They were just trying to help women with employment. Do you not understand? Those women were kidnapped and held hostage and forced to have sex for money that they gave the majority of it to these guys. That's slavery. Sex slavery. This is our economic system. All they're doing is following our economic system. But the government doesn't like them making profit. Only the government can make profit off of the economy of slavery. And so those in jail, those in prison are all testing positive for coronavirus now also. Along with the alcohol one, a Thule, as all new people call it, a pet groomer hurt a dog because she was drunk. That's the first thing that happened. When Governor Herbert shut down the state of Utah, I go through my morning runs and I would smell car after car alcohol. People were getting drunk that first night because they all believe this is it. This is the end of the world. We're all going to die. Utahns have lost hope. And so what else did Herbert talk about? They're setting it up here. Because they're asking the question, mask requirement conflict. Who has authority to require mask wearing? Executive order to require mask wearing in state. That's why ABC4 News Utah was asking the questions, setting it up for the video segment from Herbert from last night. But that's not going to stop it, Herbert. You gotta shut down the state. And he won't, and I know why. It's because of me. The federal lawsuit I have going on, okay, we're fine on that. Civil case 219 CV 00711. And it's now been assigned to Oberg, as first has been taken off of filing online. On the 15th, when Herbert opened up the airport after having the airport director disappeared with the accusation of child porn on his computer. Really? So why isn't he going through the trial process? Why has he disappeared? That was when the new judge was assigned. That very day. She gets assigned in the morning. Governor Herbert says, we're opening up the airports. And the airport director is removed from his post so that it could happen. Governor Herbert was setting it in motion for a way for the Mormon prophets to escape. Because if it were by vehicle, that won't be fast enough. Their private jet is the only thing fast enough to get the hell out of the Americas. to a non-extradition country to go minister to the people there. And so, sure enough, as we wait for the time, Herbert is acting in concert with it. Waiting for Judge Oberg, Herbert pulls stunts here and there that enable the leaders of the church to escape. He knows the church is doomed. The church leaders know they're doomed because the lawyers know they're doomed. They've been informing them that they're doomed. The filings that I submitted on Friday the 5th and Sunday the 7th sealed the fate of the church. It's over. We're waiting for Oberg now, and she's hesitating. And so, yeah, pressure this week. Herbert, we've been over 200 new cases per day, despite your attempts to limit the number of testing to keep it below 200 per day. It's time to take us back to shut down the state and put us back to orange, if not red, because we're worse than when we first were at orange and shut down the state. But again, no. All he's doing now is saying, okay, we're west. It's an order to wear a mask. That's it. Will we see it? Will people argue, "It's taking away my agency"? For those of you who have been following the word of wisdom, being an alcoholic in many cases will lead to liver damage. And it could lead to cancer as a result. When a person who drinks their whole life, taking their free agency to drink alcohol, and they get the consequences of liver damage or cancer or alcoholism, which is an overdose of alcohol, which is alcohol poisoning, you can't argue with the doctors who are trying to save your life after what you've done to yourself with your free agency. That's what this coronavirus is all about. If you are going to exercise your free agency to get yourself exposed to the virus and then expose others to the virus, you are not free to determine the consequences. And yet, time and time again, that's what the argument is all about. We demand our agency. No, you don't get to demand your consequences. And Mormons know this, and yet Mormons are promoting free agency as Bednar, an apostle of the Lord of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, has gone online, has gone to Harvard, or BYU Law School, and then went online on a video saying that coronavirus is taking away our free agency to assemble as members of the church at church. They're supposed to know the doctrine, guys. They're supposed to know free agency, and you don't get to choose the consequences, but you make the decisions. Those will lead to the consequences. And so if you choose the wrong, the consequences of wrong will follow. You can play Russian roulette if you want. Maybe you'll get away with it. But again, consequences. And so now Herbert is doing the minimum. as typical for a Republican with the inverted pentagram, hoping to get people off his back. Leave me alone! I gave you what you wanted! No, you didn't! Just wearing masks is not enough. Herbert knows this. His medical professionals have told him this, and yet he's still in defiance. And why? He was slow, but he did shut down Utah before other GOP states shut down. Why? Why is he not shutting us down again? Because Judge Oberg has not made her decision yet. And he needs to protect the church at all cost, even over your lives. And how do I get that through to you who want to hate me for telling you this? Who want to put a thumbs down as your sign that you are a worshiper of Lucifer? That you want people to die. You want the church leaders to survive at all cost. Church leaders are nothing if they don't have followers. Take away their followers, they have no power. It's not complicated. So if the church leaders are going to save their lives, they're going to lose their authority. If they want to keep their authority, which they don't have it, they need to save the lives of the Mormons. But they've already made their choice. They've chosen to save their lives over yours. We now know them by their fruits. We know that they don't follow Jesus. The inverted pentagram on the door of the temple, the inverted pentagram on the keystone of the Seagull Gate, were the signs of Lucifer, the secret sign of the Gadianton band, which is code, because they don't call themselves the Gadianton band in reality. Joseph put it in as a code. Senior, not junior. So don't lose sight of who to blame in all this. But yes, I am the cause. And that's the sad thing, is that they're exposing themselves as corrupt, as criminal, as I filed. And they're making huge mistakes, exposing themselves as corrupt in an attempt to save their lives, to get away with their crimes, and to flee if necessary, while we all wait for Oberg. And the longer she waits, the worse it's going to get, because Herbert's going to continue in defiance as the numbers are going to continue to skyrocket. Wearing masks is too late. You've already been infected. You've already infected others. And it's just going to be a matter of time. Today we're going to find out the new unemployment numbers. I'm expecting that very soon it's going to skyrocket. If not this week for last week, next week for this week. Because of the states that are skyrocketing. How do I break down your hardened heart, Mormons? How do I get you to see that this is Armageddon?